What is up, Midway Mayhem fans? This is Dan, and we are checking into the Universal Orlando Resort, more specifically Volcano Bay. And today we're looking at Aventura from a new location, and we're getting a much better view at the site. And as we can see, there is a fairly large drill right here. So it looks like the foundation is about to start for the hotel. We have a lot of other rebar down there on the ground, and some crews over here working on some other sections right there. So a lot of work, at least right here, for Aventura. And then right over this way, we can get an awesome view of the front entrance for Volcano Bay. So there we can see the lettering, and there's a new kind of doohickey up at the top. Almost looks like a roller coaster track. Kind of neat looking. We'll get a better view in just a little bit, but wanted to show you our first look from here at Aventura. Probably our closest view that we're going to get of the tram route and all the work going on here. As we can see, this pathway pretty much flat all the way down. Still some equipment along the way, but I want to show you over here. We have a wall that's going up, and that's what these guys are working on right here. And it looks like the road is about to go in because we have rebar right there that extends towards the pathway. So it looks like we should have a road coming up pretty soon. One other thing to talk about over here is, of course, the tunnel that goes underneath towards Volcano Bay. And one other thing to talk about is, of course, the tunnel that is right over here that leads towards the entrance to Volcano Bay. And it looks like it's all covered up with dirt now, and we actually have vehicles going over that. One other thing to talk about is, of course, the road that goes over the new tunnel heading towards Volcano Bay. That is now open. Cars are on top of it, and work still continues right here on the tunnel. Another view of Aventura now, and the crane that is here, along with that drill. And they should be doing a lot of drilling very, very soon for the concrete forms for the foundation. Over here, everything looks just about the same. And then another look over here at some of the work that's already been done with the rebar that we saw earlier. Crews are busy. And then over here, that same roadway with the wall. Looks like it is just about ready to start. And then over here, we get our view of the tunnel and all the work associated with that. And the cars, again, are on the roadway. So they've switched over. All right, so let's take a look at Volcano Bay. But before we do so, we're going to look at Cabana Bay's new tower, one of them at least, and the tower cranes are gone, replaced by this crane right here that is going to be lifting a couple parts into the air. Most of the steel structure looks about the same at the top, and everything else is wrapping up for that. So most of the work is internal now, and let's check out that volcano. A lot of scaffolding is down from our last update, as we can see up at the top, all finished there. It's down to almost about the deck right there for the drop slides. And we can see just tons and tons of workers all over this thing. Kind of reminds me of the guys climbing Mount Everest. And then over here we have more forms for the mountain still in the wave pool area. Hopefully those are going to be going up soon. New huts over here next to the wave pool and a structure. And then this slide complex has a couple new steel pieces, but everything else looks about the same with that. There's those new steel pieces up at the very top. And then down over here, just a flurry of work. In this area, this little building looks about the same. And then here at the bottom of one of the taller drop slides, we can see that tube again, still in that same position. And again, I think that's going to be shooting water out. Over in this area, restroom looks good. Paint all over the place, decorative theming. All the AC vents, everything looks like it is ready to go. This pathway over here has been completed. And a lot of those little blue platforms seem to be missing. And you know what? They're right over in this area, down at the bottom, and that is for a kids area. So kids are going to be able to climb up on here, and adults too, of course. But all those platforms and supports in previous updates are now into the air. We have some framing, it looks like, for handrails as well. And then the water coaster looks about the same. Base of the volcano over here, again, looks to be about the same as well. Just a ton of workers all over the place. There's got to be almost 300 people here on the site. What is this that I see? Looks like we have some inner tubes. One more look at Aventura and all that's going on over here. Again, there's a lot of construction vehicles all over the site. A couple workers here and there. And our best view now of the new tram route heading back towards the parking garage. Still a little bit of work left to do over here, but crews down in this area look like they're ready to actually put the road in place. So very soon, I'm expecting we're going to see some changes there. And then over here, we have a crane on the right-hand side. And all the work that's going on with the tunnel right there. Again, the lanes for transportation to get onto I-4 have changed and are now going directly over that tunnel. Over here at the entrance for Volcano Bay, looks pretty good. Some of the banners have been taken down. They were in our previous updates, so they may be changing them. As we zoom in, see? No banners. A lot of foliage all over the place. And things are wrapping up very, very nicely over here at the entrance. Let's take a quick look now at some of the work going on for one of the Cabana Bay towers. And we can see some more glass going up towards the top of the structure right there. Inside the rooms, well, it seems about the same as last time. Still just a steel structure. Nothing else inside there. And then the HUD over here for the main entrance is getting a cover on it. So that should be completed here probably by the time our next update happens. And then check out all of these plants. So this should be very, very lush once it finally opens. And then over here where the tunnel is, we can get a really good view. And some of the rock work that's going on right there looks nice. Again, doesn't that look like a roller coaster track? Alright, so check this out real quick. We're over here by the tunnel, and look at all of that rock work right here. So that is starting to take shape. Coming out of the tunnel, really kind of sets the tone for the park. Looking good so far. A little closer view of some of the detail going in for the rock work. Between this, the volcano, and other projects in Orlando, it's a good time to be somebody that knows how to make rock. And check out all that landscaping. Beautiful. And real quick, we'll take a look at the Cabana Bay Tower again. Looking good. Looks to be mostly done. We do have some guys over here working underneath it. It looks like there's going to be a service road area here for employees. They're working on kind of forms for the concrete right now. And then we're going to look over here, of course, towards the entry for Volcano Bay. And this area, front entrance building, looks pretty good. Again, some of the detail work right there on the wall. And then over here, big changes. So we have up at the top, again, that roller coaster type track looking entrance right there. Looks good. The Volcano Bay sign over here. Some of the banners, again, have been taken down. We'll see what happens. And this building is getting its covering right now. And we can see inside, it's some of the detail work again, right there. Looks good. Over here, again, all that landscaping. And then all the rock work over here for the tunnel. Looks pretty good. From a different angle, we're getting another view of that Cabana Bay Tower and the work going on up at the top. But over here, we have some stuff going on for Volcano Bay, including a new covering right there for one of the buildings. It's not attached 100% just yet. And then one of the food service areas, looking pretty good. Most all the paint is done, all the decorative theming on there as well. More thatch needs to be put on this tiki hut area, but it's just about there. Another covering needs to go on there. And then check out this. We have a couple huts way over by the freeway that have gone into the air, and they're getting their decorations. And a couple more over here as well. And it looks like we have a little bit of water slide testing going on today. As we can see, there are some test dummies right there on the platform. And a couple guys right here on a lift doing a little bit of work. And then check this out. All of the water is on right now. The jet's at the top. And the water is coming out a lot more than it was in our last update. So everything looks good. Looks like it is ready to go. Hopefully we see some tubes here in a second. Here's a little bit closer view of the water that's on right now. Again, a lot more forceful than in our last update. I think the tube should get way up on the wall, but we'll see. And here we go, guys. It looks like a 5-person raft is about to go into the wading pool. Crews are looking a little bit more active now. And I actually see a Pro Slide shirt Now, we talked to ProSlide back at IAPA, and they couldn't comment on this project because of obviously non-disclosure agreements, but obviously, right there, we see a ProSlide shirt. Uh-oh, and this is good news. Looks like we are loading those water test dummies into the raft now. And it doesn't look like they're too heavy, so I think they may have to fill them up with water before we do any sort of testing. We'll see. Yep, sure enough. One worker is unscrewing one of the tops of the caps, while another one is filling it up with water currently. Looks like one raft is ready to go, all loaded up with the water test dummies. And there's one right behind it, and I'm not sure if that's a 4-person or a 5-person raft. But that looks like it's also ready to go. Here we go, guys. It looks like we're about to push one of the very first rafts down the slide with water test dummies. Turning around, and yep, there it goes. And we're going to watch it come up on the first wall here. That actually went pretty high up there. It's about to dive down again. And that one didn't go that high up on... Whoa, it went pretty high up on the wall right there, though. And I don't think they have any seatbelts on or anything. I doubt it with these rafts, but all of the water test dummies made it. Water test dummy run number 2 going down right now. And it looks like the water's on maybe a little bit more powerful now. Or a little bit more weight, hopefully. Man, that thing went much higher on the wall this time. And way higher on the wall for that one. Awesome. A couple of the tubes that have been used in testing are down in the pool right now, waiting to go back up to the loading platform. Well, that's one way to get your water test dummies back up to the platform. You bring them up by rope. Going up. Up and away, another one goes. And I got a couple more down here on the bottom. Well, it appears that the conveyor belt is moving, so it looks like they will not have to tie a rope and bring it up that way for the tubes. And we should see a tube coming up very soon. And here we are now at the parking garage, and it looks like it is just about done. They've actually installed some windows up at the top there. everything looks to be just about complete. And it looks like we have some water slide testing right here too. There's a raft going down right now. So yeah, more testing all over the place. Looks like we have a couple different colors. So we have that one, a 2-person going up. And then we have the single yellow ones right there also. Testing, testing, testing. Inner tubes making their way up again for another test run. So yeah, a lot of slides doing tests today. Alright, so something to point out with this slide structure is we now have an elevator system, but that's new, at least over here. Well guys, that is going to do it for another Universal Orlando Resort Volcano Bay construction update, and today was another monumental day as we had water test dummies on several of the slides. So it's a good thing that testing is happening. Again, opening day is not that far off, and a lot of theming and other things are wrapping up to make sure that Volcano Bay looks good. Of course, we're going to be covering this until it opens, so if you like what we do, follow us on Instagram, our Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter at Midway Mayhem, and I'll see you out on the Midway.